everybody doing? How is everybody feeling? Hopefully you're feeling good and hopefully you're doing good too. So, I am here today to discuss healing and dating as a highly sensitive person, or HSP for highly sensitive person. And I am here to share my experience with that and to also encourage others who may be highly sensitive to not give up when it comes to dating, but to also find it within yourself, your intentions. So I'm always really big on intention. I'm always really big on it because there are times when we are just doing things and we're just doing them. We may not even know why we're doing them. There may not even be a particular reason. We're just doing. We're just going on with life, but we don't even know why we're doing what we're doing. And it brought me to this point of not dating for a while. So just to rewind it back a little bit, I had 2 long-term relationships, and this was in my 20s. I am 36 now, but each of those relationships were 5 years. So the whole time in my 20s, I was in a relationship. So, and I had, after the first breakup, there was a gap, and then I dated someone else, and those 2 relationships were each 5 years. And I've always been a relationship person. But then going into my 30s, when I took a break from dating, and I was just really focusing on myself and getting to a point of getting to know myself again. Because sometimes when we're in a relationship, we kind of lose ourselves. We kind of lose ourselves while becoming someone else for our significant other. And sometimes it gets to the point where you don't even recognize yourself. So in my 30s, once I told myself, hey, I'm going to take a break. I don't even know if I'm a relationship person anymore. And that brings me to the second point. There was a time where I thought I was aromantic or asexual. Do your research on it. If you're anything like me, and when it comes to the labels, everything has a label. However, labels really do help explain what's going on with that person. Because we can't understand everything, and we're not meant to understand everything. But at least when you have labels and you take the time to research it, and you're like, okay, this person identifies with this, or this is what such and such is going on with them, it kind of makes it easier for us to understand. So anyway, getting back to it, I thought being aromantic or asexual, and there will be times where I am dating, I'm casually dating, and there will be times where I want nothing to do with it. And I've also did a little bit more research on this, and they were saying how if you are someone who deals with ADHD, you can have highs and lows with that too. And your highs and lows, it can be with your libido, it can be your focus point. And I noticed there are times where if I'm focused on one thing and it's got my attention, such as my business or school, I'm going to go all in here. I don't even want to associate myself with anything else. It's too much. It's way too much for me. But once I got more and more self-aware of what I want, what I don't want, there seems to be a shift, because now I'm to the point where I do want to be in a relationship. I do value relationships greatly, but I'm not in a rush for anything. And it's to the point where whoever this person is, I want them to value the same things I value. And of course, believe in the same morals when it comes to themselves, with how they treat themselves, with how they treat other people. So there's a lot of things that shifted where I didn't really care too much about certain things before, and now it's to the point where I do care, such as you have to be involved in health and fitness. You have to value that, because I greatly value that. Before, when I was dating, there have been times where someone I was dating, he didn't care for health and fitness as much as I did. But now it's to the point where you have to have some level of health and fitness. It has to be incorporated in your life. Anyways, I find that important, just like how I find when you're healing and dating, you're continuously checking in with yourself. Because there are a lot of people, especially these days, there's a lot of people at war with themselves. There's a lot of people who are going through a lot of different things. And that's fine. We're all going through things. But what are you doing to take care of yourself? So I find that the more you are healing, the more you can see the faults in others. And you have to get to the point of looking at certain things as red flags. Before, sometimes we allow things to slip. We're allowing things to continuously happen because we care about that person, we like them, we found some type of attachment to them. But this brings me to practicing the 8 limbs of yoga. The 8 limbs of yoga, which I've discussed in previous videos, you can go to Mojo Speaks and watch more of those videos. I kind of go a little bit more into detail. But I have been incorporating the 8 limbs of yoga more, not just on the mat, but also off the mat. And not just professionally when it comes to business, making business decisions, but also with who I'm involving in my life. And I've learned, especially allowing yourself to detach, because the whole idea is to be around those where they compliment you, you compliment them. Sometimes in our minds we get attached not necessarily to the person, but the idea. So I think it's important to keep checking in with yourself and paying attention to red flags while you are dating, because you are still healing. I do not believe that one person is going to be completely healed. Absolutely not. The reason why is because in life, there are going to be things that will trigger you. There will be things that someone does, you may not even realize it. But they do something, and then if you are self-aware, you're thinking, why did this affect me so much? Why did whatever they did affect me? But that's where self-awareness comes from. And there are, like I said, the 8 limbs of yoga, and the yamas and the niyamas, they have their own separate categories when it comes to your inner work versus the external work. And then the other limbs, which discusses other elements that you can incorporate when it comes to practicing yoga as a lifestyle. For me, especially getting to the point of detaching yourself, or detaching myself, it's like a practice. The more you detach yourself, and the more you're thinking, this is not for me, this person's not for me, the easier it is for you to move on. The easier it is. You already have an idea of who you're looking for. And when you're dating, that's one thing that I would recommend. Make sure you know what you want and don't want, because it'll be easier to get with a person that compliments you, or put that person, hey, we are not a good fit. It's easy to decide if someone's good for you or not when you know what you want, and when it comes to what you are willing or not willing to tolerate, because no one's perfect. And sometimes we get that in our idea that this person has to be blah 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 blah. No, it's not even about finding the perfect person. And if you're striving to try to find a perfect person, you don't need to be dating, because you are going to create some type of resentment because this person is not matching the perfect, your perfect idea of what a significant other is. And everyone is going to value things differently. That's okay. That is okay. The whole idea is to know what you want, know what you are going to tolerate or not tolerate while you are still healing as a highly sensitive person. My number one thing that I tell my dates is I am a highly sensitive person. I'm very empathetic, but I have a really, really low tolerance when it comes to certain things. So because I embody that and I'm okay with that with myself, if you do something that I'm just not going to tolerate, I'm not going to tolerate it. So I let people know right away. Some people take it seriously, and then there are some people that will kind of test you to see what you are willing to do. And that's when you know it's a red flag. You have to remember how much you've grown from your past situations. But again, dating, just like with anything in life is going to be there's going to be some level of practice. But if you again know who you are and you know what you want and you embody those things and you're truthful with yourself, you're truthful with those with who you're dating or who you're talking to, you get to decide if this is going to be a short-term, long-term thing. You have the power over your decision making, and you don't want to allow anyone else to try to change that. But you do want to have some type of structure. And I know for me, maybe because I'm a highly sensitive person, maybe because I'm a Virgo, I'm an INFJ, I have all these things, all these unique things about myself. I do enjoy structure. I enjoy discipline. So there are certain things that I value greatly that has helped me. So I do look at those qualities at the other person, whoever I'm speaking with, and see if they are aligned with those same qualities. So, for example, I follow the 8 limbs of yoga. I really just like how it keeps me grounded. It keeps me on track. And there are so many ways of practicing. And not to say the other person has to practice the same thing, but it is something I look for when it comes to their self-care. You know what I mean? So when you are healing and dating as a highly sensitive person, look for those qualities. Look for those qualities that you admire so much about yourself and how much you have grown and how much you have been healing, and see if that person has or shares the same qualities. See if they are open. I know for me, vulnerability is key, although you have to be super careful with that, because there are some people who are some complete charmers out there that know how to play a certain way so that they come off a certain way. But you have to trust yourself to even know or consider if that's really how they are. And of course, you have to give that person time too. But trust yourself. If you can feel and believe that energy is genuine, then maybe it is. But if not, if you feel like, okay, something's off, there might be something that's off. You got to trust yourself, you got to listen to yourself. But again, you want to watch for those qualities that this person may or may not have. You want to see if they are aligned with it, and see if whatever they're aligned with, if that aligns with you. Anyone who's on a healing path or on a healing journey, it's all about holding each other accountable, but also being supportive, being understanding, being compassionate, right? Now, if someone that you're coming across is not on a healing journey, not that they need to, but if they can't understand that you're on a journey, if they can't, be compassionate, be understanding, hold you accountable, if they can't do those things, again, it's one of those concepts where you have to really think to yourself if this person's good for you or not. I find that when you're on a healing journey, whatever journey you're on, and you come across other people who understand, who are compassionate, they're being supportive, they're being there for you, you guys have the same goals and dreams, it's such a beautiful reunion when that happens. And it is out there. So I want to come on here and share my experience, and also keep the hope alive. It is weird in the dating pool right now. It is super weird, but understanding that the world has and is going through stuff. People are and have and will continue to go through stuff too. So just being open-minded, and at the same time checking in with yourself, being real with yourself, being truthful with yourself, and not giving up. So I just want to come in here and do a little chit chat. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking when it comes to dating? When as a highly sensitive person, and of course when you're on this healing path, what are something that you're doing to keep yourself grounded, keep yourself, you know, again, it's not one of those, you don't want to fall for anything, you know what I'm saying? So what are you doing to keep yourself on track? What are those qualities of what you're looking for? Share them below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.